1984 Auburn football team began its long journey in the heady atmosphere of the Kickoff Classic. The Big Apple, Staten Island, the Statue of Liberty, Yankee Stadium, they saw all the sights. Auburn was ranked #1 in all the preseason polls. Pat Dye and his staff, sensing the long season, punctuated by long, difficult road trips against top teams, and mindful of the tragedy of '83, decided to play it low-key at first. Bring the '84 Tigers slowly. Hope the raw talent on board would be enough to overcome Miami. Hope the immaturity at quarterback could be overcome by the power running of Bo Jackson and Tommy Agee. Hope that the young but strong offensive line would somehow excel in spite of its youth. That the defense, despite the loss of 5 players now in professional football, would be able to contain the passing of Bernie Kosar and Miami's splendid wide receivers. It was not to be. Bernie Kosar was everything his press clippings indicated, maybe a bit better on this night. Pat Washington, injured during much of the preseason, had his moments. This touchdown toss to Clayton Buford tied it at 7-all, but the once well-oiled wishbone was missing. Twice in the second half, Robert McGinney kicked Auburn into 1-point leads, only to see Kosar and company answer with their own field goals. Despite a poor night, the Tigers still had their chance to win, driving into Miami territory with 3 minutes to go, only to lose the ball on a mishandled pitch. Miami edged Auburn 20-18 in the second annual Kickoff Classic in the New Jersey Meadowlands.
I had to have done a poor job of getting you ready, but there'll be some better days ahead. We got to have tough times. Tough times, the strong people get together, get closer. And we got some growing up to do, and no question about it. We're going to need all the leadership we can get, and I expect it.
The Tigers opened the regular season in Austin, Texas, against a Longhorn team that in recent years has been, strangely enough, better early than late. They certainly were better on this September night. Todd Dodge was superb, directing his team to a 14-0 first-quarter lead. Auburn battled back. Kyle Collins scored. A pair of McGinney field goals cut the lead to a point at halftime. But the Longhorns put 3 touchdowns on the boards in the second half. Auburn couldn't match them. It was a 35-27 shootout in Austin. Only Auburn suffered more than an ambush. Their Heisman Trophy candidate went down with a separated shoulder on this play.
We didn't win tonight. We came here to win. And there's never ever any consolation and glory that goes with losing. That's the way life is. But as a team, I think that we had enough out there tonight that we can build on. I wouldn't show after the Miami game we had enough to build on. But I think after what I saw tonight, I think we can build on it. It's going to take a lot of courage and a lot of guts and a lot of leadership, a lot of quality on the football team to bounce back after the night, get ready to play Southern Mississippi, our first home game. This is not the way I had it planned, and it's not the way you had it planned. But that's life. Let us learn from it. Let's learn from it. We're nowhere close to being the best that we can be. We're nowhere close to being as close as a football team as we need to be. All of the things that make a difference between winning and losing. We're still not doing as good a job as the coaching staff as we need to do. And we're going to work hard to correct them. But I appreciate you going out there and laying your guts on the line to win the football game tonight. Just know that we're all in a struggle together, men. Me, you, the coaches. This is Auburn's family. Let's stick together.
Southern Miss came calling, hoping an 0-2 start, and the loss of Bo Jackson had taken the fight out of Auburn. They found a Tiger team still struggling to protect the football, but determined to close ranks and get a winning streak going.
When we went out saying that we needed one to get, you know, the open eye kicking games up, and everybody, we got in the huddle and we pulled ourselves together and we told everyone to get one man. And everybody got a man. One of their men must have tripped up. Eddie broke loose, him and Arthur Johnson, and also Terry Walker. They broke loose and I just broke up behind them and just utilized the speed, and we was gone to town.
One guy you had to run by, huh?
One guy. And that was the easy part.
The Tigers scored on their first two possessions. Collis Campbell went 33 yards for the second touchdown, a powerful run.
I was kind of surprised when I got open, you know. I thought the guy had me down. And I kept moving my feet. I just came in open. Next thing I knew, I was running, you know. So it ended up like that.
What did y'all talk about this week without Bo?
Just working hard. And, you know, we had to go out there, you know, and do what we had to do without Bo, so we just went out there and did it.
You couldn't help but notice a young wideout named Freddie Wagan. 3 catches for 71 yards, the beginning of what may be a fabulous career in orange and blue. And Trey Gaines put the final touchdown on the board with a big punt return. 35-12, Auburn over Southern Miss.
And I saw an open lane and cut back. And, you know, it's just lucky.
I feel very strong and very deeply that we got quality people. And I haven't felt any different. I just, you know, and going back to the Miami game, I take that responsibility. That was my fault. I thought we played our hearts out and fought your guts out against Texas. And I thought you came out here tonight and showed a lot of class. And, you know, this whole game we're out there playing tonight is, like tonight is what makes it so wonderful. Because you can look back and, you know, you just can't pick out any one superstar. A lot of folks contributed. Defensive linemen, defensive end, secondary, kicking game, offense, defense, all of it. And that's what makes it so wonderful. That's what makes it so great.
I feel great. It's my first win as a quarterback here, and it's something I've been waiting for.
Well, I tell you, we're coming a lot closer, and like we're playing together now, and we're knowing what, you know, each guy's going to do. Everybody getting to the ball, and, you know, that's what we're looking forward to. Is
that right, Ben?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, it's nice to have a win on your belt at home, especially when, you know, we got the week we got ahead next week against Tennessee.
Yeah, how about Tennessee?
Oh, well, Tennessee's going to be a big powerhouse, and they're going to be just as good as they were last year.
They got tied by Army.
Oh, yeah. They're going to really be fired up, and they're going to come in here and give us a match.
They got one of those strong-arm guys.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Robinson, and he can throw it, you know, 60
You know, when you got a quarterback that you have to, you know, to contain him, keep him from running outside, and plus keep him from dropping back and throwing the long bomb, you know, you get a little bit confusing. You just got a quarterback who just drop back, you know, it's kind of make your job a little bit easier.
Here we go again, another good quarterback.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Tennessee is always special. It begins the conference season. The team that wins is a contender. The loser plays catch-up the rest of the season. The Vols were not ready for what hit them on a warm September Saturday at jam-packed Jordan-Hare Stadium. Auburn's defense took control and never let go. Gerald Robinson caused a Vol safety, hitting quarterback Tony Robinson. On the day, Tennessee managed just 74 yards on the ground. They made only 11 first downs. Despite 5 turnovers, the Tiger offense was exceptional. Kyle Collins, just one of Auburn's many unknown backs, scored 3 touchdowns. Brent Fullwood was the Tiger workhorse, 134 yards on 20 carries. Auburn pounded Tennessee 29-10.
Father, we thank you for life. We thank you for all the blessings you've given us, Lord Jesus. We thank you for this victory, Father, but we also ask that you be with the other team. Let them arrive safely back to Tennessee. Be with the many fans on their way back home. Father, we just love you, praise you, and honor you, giving you all glory. Amen.
It's not going to get any easier. It's going to get tougher. But that's the way you ought to want it. That's the way you ought to want it. That's like life is. The bigger you get and the higher you go, the tougher it's going to get. And the men will stand up and the weak ones will fall by the wayside. And we will know where our place is on down the line. I don't think we can play any worse on offense than we played today as far as the mistakes we made. And maybe we got that one out of our system. And maybe we can learn from it. The concentration. And Greg, I'm sorry I missed you out there in the middle of the field. I looked for you, but you were gone. I told Greg that I would mention it on Monday, and I will mention it on television, that it appeared to me that our linebackers played a lot better today, Coach. I saw some sparks fly a time or two out there. You know, it's fun to win, isn't it?
Alvin, boy, you reckon they'll start throwing balls somewhere else besides your side now that you've had that interception?
Nah, I believe they'll pick on me some more.
They will?
Yeah.
You must be Auburn's designated Tennessee interceptor. You've had one the last 2 years, right?
I believe I got lucky today. He threw it right to me. I couldn't. I'd have been crazy to miss it, but I think the defense played well today, and the coverage was there when we needed it, and I was real happy with the win.
And that's what it takes, just a secondary to hold just one more second, just a half a second, and it gives the defensive ends and linemen a chance to get to the quarterback.
Well, you got your first start. How'd it feel?
Oh, it was nice. I came off the ball pretty good, I thought. And, well, the offense, we did a poor job of handling the ball, but the defense came through.
Now, tell me the truth. Were you scared?
Me? I was nervous at the beginning. But once I came off the ball once and he hit me, it kind of went out.
Did he hit you hard?
Yeah, it was pretty hard.
Hey, you made a great play on the goal line. Did you know where you were just short of the goal line?
No, I really didn't know where I was, but I saw the ball up in the air and he jumped for it and I just went through, tried to go through him. I didn't know where I was. I didn't have an idea.
You didn't know you were keeping him out of the end zone, right?
No.
Well, you did, though, didn't you?
Luckily, yeah.
And you just caught him from the backside?
Yes, sir. They move us in the linebacker, me and Tom, and have Greg in the middle of us, and we just come on that play and lucky to open up and just made the tackle.
We had a little trouble at times moving, executing. But I think we controlled the line of scrimmage at times, and other times we had breakdowns.
Do you recall how remarkably alike Bo's tippy-toe run that one was against Tennessee last year? Same positions, same yardage?
Well, I'm not about to say that I do anything like Bo Jackson. I wish I did, but I remember that run. I sure do. I hadn't thought about it till now. I guess it could be familiar, but Bo Jackson has the ability to do it. I just got the luck.
Say it's great to be Auburn Tigers. Say it's great to be.
Game number 5 of the year and Auburn's 3rd travel weekend. It was indeed a long road. And this trip to Mississippi, the first ever to Oxford for a Tiger team, was made on a drizzly, drab Saturday. The Tiger offense was as dull as the weather in the opening half. The Rebels had the lead twice in the first half, only to see Auburn draw even when Collis Campbell bulled his way over just before intermission. Auburn's offense found itself in the second half, putting together 2 pressure-packed drives, one for touchdown. The final play, this touchdown pass, Washington to Trey Gaines. And the other drive, just as important, an 8-minute clock killer that never allowed the Rebels a chance to get the ball and make a comeback. It was a thing of beauty, a gutty performance by the Auburn offense. There were some gutty performances on the defensive side as well. Maybe the best was nose guard Harold Hallman, the smallest but perhaps the strongest nose guard in the league. Had 12 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 for losses, 2 caused fumbles. Deservedly, he was named the SEC Lineman of the Week. Auburn whipped Ole Miss 17-14.
You feel a little better once you drilled him with it back there?
Well, it wasn't exactly a drill, but I felt a lot better knowing it got back there to him all right. And I could hear the ball was wet when I snapped it. I could hear him kick it. You know, as soon as he punted it, I knew it was all right. Yeah, I breathed a little sigh of relief.
You know, I had a good snap from Pat, and you know everything went well. They were not coming, so you get the sensation when they're coming and when they're not. I had an idea that they weren't, but you know, I still got it out pretty quick.
I think you'll improve your 35-yard average.
I think so.
It's good to come back and play a good half after you played a bad one, huh?
Yes, it really is. And then you can carry on some of that to the next week. And it took all we had, and it's just going to take all we got for next week.
Y'all were unhappy with the way you played the first half?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah?
It was total misery.
Y'all get talked to a little bit?
Yeah. You remember George Teddy, don't you?
Yeah.
Just like it wasn't quite that bad, but just about. Well, I don't know.
That's enough. I hope it was good for us. We needed to have to come from behind, and we needed to have to win late. We needed to have to take a ball and drive it. We needed to have to play defense. Because down the road, maybe be playing somebody a little better, and then stakes will be a little higher, and we're gonna have to know exactly what it takes to do those things. So, mighty happy for you and proud of you. Auburn won. Let's get on the bus and go to Alabama.
What happened the following week in Tallahassee will be talked about for a long time. When one team scores 42 and the other 41, some crazy things always happen. Jesse Hester and Hassan Jones, Florida State's super talented wideouts, were unstoppable because Eric Thomas was getting the ball to them with amazing accuracy. The Seminoles had their option game working too. Passing and option running is a devastating combination in college football. But the Tigers hung in, working hard for their scores, while the Seminoles, it seemed, scored touchdown after touchdown with relative ease. The spark the Tigers needed came on the kickoff opening the second half. The ball popped loose, and it just bounced into Ed Graham's hands on a dead run. The only thing he knew to do was to keep running. Florida State battled back. A Thomas to Hassan Jones pass gave them a 41-36 lead with just 8 minutes to go. Finally, only 3:20 on the clock, Auburn was 76 yards away from the goal line. Pat Washington saved the drive on a fourth down bootleg play that he called himself. Then he threw a strike to Freddie Wagan on 3rd down and 8 to save the drive. Finally, Brent Fullwood took it in with a power run, 48 seconds left on the clock. But the game was not won until Gerald Robinson sacked Eric Thomas on successive plays.
Mighty proud of you. Enjoy this, and this is one you'll remember a lifetime. You can put this one back and tell your grandchildren about it when you're old man and gray.
If Florida State was wild, Georgia Tech was bizarre. The Tigers set the tone on the opening kickoff. For a half, the Auburn defense was superb. John Dewberry was harassed from the opening snap. Kevin Green, Ben Thomas, and the other members of the Auburn defensive front were in his face most of the time. Auburn was equally sensational on offense. In the first half, Mike Mann, subbing for the injured Pat Washington, was nearly perfect through the air. Jeff Berger came off the bench to toss a touchdown pass of his own. Tommy Agee, Tim Jesse, and Collis Campbell had big plays.
Well, came from the offensive line. They just made a hole big enough a transport truck could drive through it. You know, I just ran.
And just hate to say it, but it was just a couple of them I just had to run over, you know, just to get in the end zone. When I use my power, run over and get in the end zone.
You, is this going to be a habit, scoring every week? It's kind of nice, isn't it?
I would like for it to be a habit, you know.
You hadn't scored since Mississippi State 2 years ago. Did it feel good?
It felt pretty good.
Now you got to go to Mississippi State next week.
Yeah, hope to get another one there, too.
It was 41-0 at intermission, but as good as the Tigers were in the first half, they were that bad in the second. Helped greatly, of course, by a Tech team determined to avoid embarrassment. Georgia Tech scored 34 points to Auburn's 7 in the second half. The final, Auburn 48, Georgia Tech 34.
All I can say is I did a heck of a job at halftime with my speech to you. But, you know, I think probably, you know, it may be good for us to see the difference between being intense and doing things right, making things happen on defense, and the same way offensively. You know, football is such a game where inches mean so much, but that inch may be in desire. It's not necessarily on the field in yards and feet out there to make first downs. It may be down inside your heart. What you want, how bad did you want to keep Georgia Tech out the end zone in the second half?
The Tigers ran on to the Scott Field turf at Mississippi State looking for their 6th straight victory. They got it, but it was an uphill struggle to the final second. Mississippi State was ready to play. It was 14-0 at the quarter. It was 21-7 at halftime. Auburn put together a third quarter drive. Jesse took it in. 21-14 going to the fourth quarter. The Auburn defense, led by Greg Carr, Harold Hallman, and Kevin Green, had turned the momentum to Auburn's favor. The break came with 4:20 left. Gerald Robinson knocked the ball loose. Greg Carr recovered the fumble. Mike Mann completed a 3rd and 9 to Freddie Wiegand. Brent Fullwood took it to the goal line. Reggie Ware scored, and Robert McGinney evened it with the point after. Auburn got the ball back with 2:13 to go. Collis Campbell got 20. Mike Mann put it in field goal range and then stood while the clock ran to the final 2 seconds. And then Robert McGinney kicked a 35-yarder to give Auburn a great comeback win, 24-21.
It's a real good feeling. I'm glad the team won, you know, so we can stay undefeated in SEC is an important thing.
Coach Dodd came in here and at halftime and gave us one of the traditional pep talks, and he kind of jumped us a little bit, but it was good for us. We came back out the second half, and the defense buckled up, didn't let them have any points, and the offense kicked it in.
Well, you know, Coach Dodd's been in the business a whole lot longer than I have, and he's been in a lot more games. I wanted to go for 2 personally, but I knew whatever he decided to do, you know, was the best thing, and the way it turned out, it was fabulous.
Coach asked me, could I go? I told him I'd give him everything I had, and that's what I wanted to do, give him everything I had, and just forgot about my leg.
It was just enough.
We got a big task in front of us next week. Florida had the weekend off. They're going to be fresh. They're a great football team. We still got a lot of people wounded and hurt. I want you to start right now getting ready for Florida. You don't have enough time otherwise. It's a great, great win for you, man. You'll never know. You'll never know. And you remember me telling you yesterday that some of the hardest fought battles are not in the biggest arenas?
The Auburn-Florida series has been one of the most controversial in the college game in recent years, often bitter. On this Saturday at Florida Field, there was no controversy. No doubt also as to who was the best team. The long season had finally caught up to the Tigers. Florida manhandled Auburn in the second half to win 24-3. Bo Jackson returned to the Auburn lineup several weeks ahead of schedule, but he was ineffective, 5 carries, 16 yards. A healthy Bo probably would not have changed the outcome.
I don't think there's any, just looking at it, there's nothing magical about what happened out there tonight. We just got a good old-fashioned whipping. Up front, just everywhere. That's about as simple as you can put it. They whipped us on offense, they whipped us on defense. And, they're a good football team. They're not that much better than you are. But they were tonight. So, I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to, we can't do this without your understanding. But I know you're a tired football team. And I want you to take tomorrow and Monday off. Don't think I'm giving you tomorrow and Monday off because we're playing a weak opponent in Cincinnati. That's not the reason behind it. I want you to take tomorrow and Monday off, get away from football for a couple of days, regroup, and come back and be a better football team against Cincinnati, get well, get ready for Georgia and Alabama.
Auburn needed an easy week. They had met 9 straight tough opponents, most of them on long road trips. Cincinnati came to Jordan-Hare and found Bo Jackson getting his legs under him. Number 34 ran for 3 touchdowns and sat on the bench in the second half. The Auburn defense sacked the Cincinnati quarterback 7 times. It was a 60-0 tie for the Auburn football team. Well, you got a sack, huh?
Yeah, I got 2.
Feel good?
I feel real good.
You back healthy now?
Yeah, I'm back right.
Just in time, because you got to go against a team you've heard of next week, huh? What do you think about this team?
Well, I respect him. I got a teammate on that team. He'll be blocking me, and I'm going to get it all my all because I'm from Georgia, and I got something to prove.
Well, anytime you get a shutout, it helps. Certainly, I don't know if it'll help for next week or not, but it helps us overall, and we've needed it all year long. We've had a chance in some other games, but never been able to do it, and to put it together the second half like we did, I'm proud of them. We got a lot of folks to playing, and I guess everybody we had out there that was eligible to play played. We weren't holding out.
It helped us out, especially defense. It's going to give us a chance to really pull together and let everybody know that we can play as a team, because we're gonna need this going up against Georgia. They're strong football team.
Auburn, Georgia, the South's oldest, in many respects the biggest rivalry in Deep South collegiate football. Jonathan Robinson gave the Tigers the spark they needed, stopping a dog drive in the end zone in the early going. Georgia would not see Auburn territory again in the first half. Auburn put together 2 touchdown drives in the first half. One, a 75-yard beauty with Bo Jackson carrying 4 straight times, pounding the dogs into submission. Pat Washington took it the final yard. Auburn answered 2 dog field goals in the third quarter with this 70-yard Washington to Clayton Buford pass. It was Auburn 21, Georgia 12.
Great.
I just thank God that he gave the strength to the offensive line, to make them holes wide enough so that I can blow through there
You let that guy run you down, though.
Yeah, you know, I lost a little speed, but, you know, that's costing my ankle, but
It's good to make the cut, so tonight. Huh?
it is. See, we have a one turnover, and that didn't really affect us then because I was at the end of the game, but we shouldn't have had that, but I'm glad we kept the ball off the ground.
What a time to get it, huh?
I'm serious.
Against Georgia.
It was nice. Very nice.
Boy, that was a throw, too, and it hit you right in the breadbasket.
Yeah, Pat put it right on the money.
Did you have any thoughts of coming out of the end zone with it?
No, sir. All I worried about was catching it and not letting him get in front of me to catch it.
You get that, when you get that fullback play, things start happening, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, when you get that, then it just opens up everything. It makes everything, you know, you can do it then.
Best effort?
Maybe in the first half, I don't know.
Defensive line played well. Overall, everybody just played well, you know, and this make me feel good because I'm from Georgia and I can go home and brag a little bit.
Tonight, you know, we're going to celebrate this victory, and we're going to come back Monday and start to prepare for Alabama.
It looked like the old days, didn't it?
Yeah.
And,
that's a good feeling, huh, when you know
yeah.
it's working?
You know, it looked like Georgia maybe was trying to play us a little bit like Florida, a little outside-in defense, and sort of saying, well, we're going to see if you can do it. And that was a quick answer, I think, when he jumped out of there right off the bat. And you know, I think that excites our team because they know when that goes, everything starts condensing down. The double coverage comes off of receivers, and the whole thing just meshes together.
Hey, it feels great. I can go home with my head held high, my nose in the sky.
That's right.
Now they know why I went to Auburn.
Right.
That's right.
Is that right?
And I bet you there's a few over there that wish they came too.
2 years in a row, too. You know, that hasn't happened in a long time.
We love it. We love every minute of it.
For real.
It was all in place. Auburn needed to beat Alabama to make a second straight appearance in the Sugar Bowl. The Tigers were the favorite on the biggest Saturday of college football in our state. Alabama, suffering its first losing season in a quarter century, was a team backed into a corner, and they played that way. Auburn stopped Alabama on their first possession. And then the Tigers put together a 14-play drive of beauty. Bo Jackson run spiced with pinpoint Pat Washington aerials. It was 7-0 on a 2-yard run by Jackson. But Alabama answered with a 14-play drive of its own, 7-7 at the half. Then Alabama built a 17-7 lead in the third quarter and appeared well in command until this Brent Fullwood run midway of the fourth quarter. A pitch to Bo and a successful two-point conversion. Auburn was only 2 behind, 17-15. The break the Tigers needed came only 3 plays later. Kevin Green grabbed a tipped pass. Auburn had the ball at the Alabama 17-yard line. There are games you are not meant to win. This is one. On 3rd and 9, Pat Washington took it down to the 1. A yard less, and Auburn would most certainly have gone for the field goal. But with 3.5 minutes on the clock, Pat Dye made his decision. Go for it. At the line, Bo Jackson did not hear the call. He went the wrong way. Brent Fullwood, on the same play that beat Florida State, was stopped short. It still wasn't over. The Auburn defense held. The Tigers had one last chance. A 42-yard field goal to win, but it was not meant to be. The Tigers canceled the Sugar Bowl and headed for Memphis.
It's our family. I know some of you are probably disappointed you didn't play. Some of you could have played more. But like I said, it's our family. Love it. Love your brothers and get a little closer together. We'll come back and try to make a better showing in the Liberty Bowl.
The long road finally led to Memphis, Tennessee. The days leading up to the Liberty Bowl were spent first putting away the disappointment of the Alabama game, and then preparing for the Razorbacks of Arkansas. But it was more than that. Auburn took the approach that the Liberty Bowl was the first step toward the future. Pat Dye and his staff were already searching for an offense that would make better use of the talent.
I would expect to see us next year in some 3 wideouts, using 3 receivers, using 2 tight ends a lot, and 2 back some, probably I back set, and maybe some formations where we're using 1 back. And maybe use 1 back with 2 tight ends and 2 flankers. And
You're going to have a real learning session in the spring.
well, I think it'll be good for our defense too, because we see all those formations during the course of a year. And the thing that we have some outstanding players in other positions other than running back. And I think that we have the ability at quarterback and then our offensive line to maybe, you know, be a very effective multiple offensive football team. So I think it'll be good for our defense and being able to work against these different formations in the spring that we see all fall. And at the same time, I don't want to lose intangibles that the wishbone gives you. The discipline and the unselfishness and the fact that we do have a lot of running backs that need to play too.
The Tigers took the field for the 13th time in 4 months, ready to answer the critics who said they had no motivation. They were ready. The Auburn defense gave Pat Dye his 4th straight bowl victory without a loss, picking off 4 Razorback passes. This one by Kevin Porter for touchdown to give Auburn a 14-3 lead. Bo Jackson had scored the first Auburn touchdown. It went to the 4th at 14-3. Auburn's lead looking better all the time, till this turnover, Auburn's first of the night, gave Arkansas the ball at the 6. The Razorbacks punched it in to trail by just 5. Bo Jackson appeared to ice the game on this 40-yard run late in the 4th. He had 88 yards on 18 carries, scored 2 touchdowns, was the game's MVP. But Arkansas answered quickly, going 69 yards the last 25 on this Brad Taylor to James Shebest pass. Auburn took the ball, needing to kill the clock. They made 2 first downs, and then that defense held the Razorbacks off the final minute and a half to take the 21-15 victory. There was one final singing of War Eagle for 1984. Now, there are War Eagles and there are War Eagles. There are rousing War Eagles, like the ones that followed Florida State and Georgia. And then there are more subdued War Eagles, the ones that say, we did what we came to do, but now we must move on to the next great hurdle.
We got to start in January, men. Now, I don't mean that it ain't got to be an emotional or physical thing right now. But you think about it while you're home. I'm going to make a new commitment to you. And I want you to make a commitment to Auburn. You think about it, what a commitment is. You make a commitment to Auburn that you're going to be the best student that you can be, the best person that you can be, and the best football player you can be. And that's exactly what I'm going to live my life for. And the rest of these coaches, we're not going to cut any corners with you. We're not going to take any shortcuts with you. And we're not going to take anything for granted like I did this past year. I love you too much. I love you too much for you to not have a great football team and season next year.
White, and White coming underneath. And you notice that time the quarterback was rolling, trying to get away from the heat, from the pressure of that rush of the big defensive front of Auburn University. Start out back in the pocket first, and they roll one way or another time, or the other way. That time he rolled to the right.
That's Greg Horn, an excellent punter. He's averaged 43.8 yards a kick this year. And Trey Gaines, a wide receiver, is a safety man for Auburn. And the kick is shanked right on top. Gets a roll, though, for Arkansas, and goes out of bounds just short of the 20-yard line. No return, so it didn't turn out that disastrous as Greg Horn shakes his head. What did I do wrong? I didn't average 44 yards shanking him. 36-yard punt. We'll be back with the score. Auburn 14, Arkansas 3.
Last year, Mercedes-Benz introduced the new 190 class to America. Each one has rewarded its driver with a new kind of performance. Each one an almost uncanny balance of power and handling and riding comfort. Each one a remarkable automobile, even by the standards of Mercedes-Benz. The Mercedes-Benz 190 class for 1985, engineered like no other car in the world.
Investing these days is a little bit like you playing tennis against Jimmy Connors. You're going to need all the professional help you can get. Payne Weber can supply that help. A full range of services and a financial advice to help you make those difficult decisions. Because at Payne Weber, we believe the quality of life just might depend on the quality of your investments.
Hey, great match. Thanks, Jimmy. Thank you, Payne Weber. Next time I'm with those guys on my team, okay?
Hi, my name is Bo Jackson, running back for Auburn University football team. I hope you're enjoying the holiday season. And on behalf of the Auburn University football team, we wish you a very happy new year.
Incredible athlete, Bo Jackson, a baseball star, 100-meter man, track and field star, everything. Auburn trying to run up the middle. Tim Jesse, number 25, is met by Gerald Jones and David Basil. Jones playing left tackle. First quarter stats coming up. Well, let's see how they did.
Well, the interception really was the biggest. Yes, the interception was the big play for Auburn. And this is actually the second time they've had, the third time they've had possession of the football, I believe.
Second down 9 for the Auburn Tigers. They give to the first man through. Reggie Ware, a freshman from Huntsville. They're high on him for the future. David Basil and Tony Cherico on the tackle. Auburn has only one senior on its offensive team, 5 starting seniors on the defense. Arkansas has 4 seniors on its offense, only 1 senior on its outstanding defensive unit. So both teams return a strong nucleus for next year. Third down, 7. Washington fires. He's got a man open on the 40. That's Trey Gaines of Cairo, Georgia, the sophomore, tackled by Kevin Anderson in the secondary.
The reason that was completed, boy, he had all the time in the world. You're taking a look at what it's like to get the ball from the center, but look at it. 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,000. Boy, he had all the time in the world to get rid of the football. If you give a quarterback 5 seconds or thereabouts, he's going to find somebody open. He looked all over the field. Left, right, left again, then came back and finally got the ball to his receiver.
2 wide receivers and the wishbone setup. Washington keeps the ball. He had ideas of pitching out. You can see the big boy can move out from out under that center. You give him some room. He has those long strides, and he could hurt you outside on the quarterback keeper. David Basil took him down, number 53.
Yes, if you can get Washington turned upfield, he has terrific speed for a quarterback. As I said, he'll run the 40-yard dash in about 4.5 or 4.6, and that's pretty quick for anybody, let alone a quarterback. Plus the fact he can throw the ball 70, 75 yards.
Wiggins gone in at second down 7. Auburn. Washington throws a release pass out to the 41 to 45 and up to the 50-yard line and balled out of bounds. They have a flag down. Kyle Collins, number 23, from Gadsden, Alabama, junior. They're all back next year in this backfield. Fullwood, Campbell, Collins, Agee, Ware, Jackson, Washington.
Got it motion against Auburn. They're going to bring that play back. But all those people that you mentioned, Kurt, they all have excellent speed, excellent speed.
Ken Hatfield, the Arkansas coach, puts the ball back to the 38 of Auburn.
Illegal motion, the offense, repeat the down.
It's now 2nd down and 12 for Auburn. Auburn's in the lead, 14-3, 12:28 remaining in the first half. Second and 12. Filling over the 40 to the 41 is Tim Jesse. Jesse's hit by David Basil. He's in on nearly every tackle. And so is Nick Miller, the other linebacker from Clute, Texas.
Well, those are the 2 linebackers that led Arkansas in tackling this year. And you look at David Basil, you know, he only weighs 211 pounds. And that maybe with the weights in his shoes or something when he got on the scale. He's really not that large, but boy, is he quick and he is tenacious.
It is now 3rd and 9 for Auburn with 2 wide receivers. He throws to this side, to the 45, and up to the 49 is Kyle Collins, the halfback, brought down by Nathan Jones, a rover in the secondary, and David Basil again. Well, now they're short. They're about a yard short, and let's see what they do. I think they're going to punt.
Yes, they're going to punt.
They put Lewis Colbert in. On 4th down and 1.
They got about 22 people out on the field, so they're going to have to call a timeout to figure out what they're going to do.
And that's a timeout charge to Auburn. They have 2 left. So there's a pause in the action here at the Liberty Bowl. We'll be right back. This is the Cat Sports Network.
Delicious corned beef and cabbage. It's sure to please when you make it with Winn-Dixie's Harvest Fresh Green Cabbage. Only 10 cents a pound in the produce patch. And slice into a delicious Harvest Fresh Large Navel Orange. Sweet and juicy. Winn-Dixie has them in the produce patch at 4 pounds for just $1.
Harvest Fresh from Winn-Dixie.
56, 57.
The tax man's still here. So Dallas County Ford dealers are staying open till midnight to cut inventory.
55.
During tax savings sale, prices will never be lower on every car and truck. Buy before the 31st. Get big discounts on F-150s and Rangers. Tempos, Escorts, price to sell. We must reduce inventories. Participating dealers are open till midnight through Saturday.
Dallas County Ford dealers tax savings sale. Open till midnight tonight.
Joe Edmonds is the safety man. Lewis Colbert's the punter for Auburn. Edmonds is on his 10-yard line. A slight breeze favoring Colbert. And he boots a towering spiral. That's going to land in the end zone for the touchback. It'll be Arkansas's ball. 1st down on their 20. Well, coming up at halftime, the Liberty Bowl pageant. All the fans here in Memphis, as well as our television viewers at home, should enjoy. The theme is the Statue of Liberty, that great lady that stands so tall in New York Harbor. Internationally acclaimed opera star Marguerite Piazza, the Shelby Singers, magnificent fireworks, set piece of the statue, and the Auburn U Marching Band and the University of Arkansas Razorback Marching Band. All this at halftime. Pageantry that is time-honored, highly regarded tradition here at the Liberty Bowl. 1st down Arkansas from their 20. They pitch to the trailer. He doesn't get much. He comes up. Terry Tatum to the 23-yard line. Brought down by Greg Carr, the linebacker, the All-American, pursuing the play.
It's one area that wishbone or flexbone, as Arkansas likes to call it, that they really don't do that well, pitching it to the outside. They've had most of their success giving that football to the fullback inside because he's got that straight shot. If he gets by that linebacker, it's just straight down the field. It's a foot race between he and the defensive backs. You could have a big gainer.
Nutt is still in there at quarterback. He's got a quick drop. Now he throws. It's well covered. It's intercepted by Jonathan Robinson of Auburn, their 2nd interception. And he's down on the Arkansas 45. He threw into double coverage that time. He had no chance to get the ball to the receiver.
He was looking for his back, Bobby Joe Edmonds, and he never should have thrown that football. He was just throwing that up there and hoping. Here it is going back in the pocket after faking the play pass, and here he is throwing it flat-footed. The ball hangs up there. The receiver goes down. Interception number 2 for Auburn. They're once again in good field position.
Well, we'll be back. Auburn has the ball in Arkansas territory, and Auburn's leading 14-3.
Send this by Emory to Pittsburgh, and if it's not there by 10:30 tomorrow, I'm holding you personally responsible.
Send this by Airborne to San Diego, and if it's not there by 10:30 a.m., Dick, you're in big trouble.
Send this by Purelator to Seattle, and it better get there by 10:30, Dick.
If you were in Dick's shoes, you'd probably do what Dick's going to do.
Hello, Federal.
Federal Express. Why fool around with anyone else?
If you can see the difference between this and this, smile, because Gleam can make the same difference in your teeth. You see, only Gleam has calcium P. Laboratory tests prove it gets stained teeth whiter than any leading fluoride brand. Whiter than any gel, whiter than any polish. How much whiter? 30% whiter. And you still get Gleam's proven fluoride protection. So if your teeth aren't as white as they can be, start brushing with Gleam. You'll be smiling. Pretty.
This is the history of the takeaways, giveaways this year. -2 for Auburn and a +10. In other words, they've taken the ball away more than they've given it up, +10. That's a good record for the year. And that's the relentless defense of Arkansas has forced those turnovers. Right now, Auburn has the ball on the Arkansas 45 with a first down. Fullwood going in motion, and it's the fullback Tommy Agee from Maplesville, Alabama, who's hit for just a yard gain. And he stopped there by Gerald Jones, number 76.
Also, Nick Miller, the linebacker, was up involved in that play, and they were looking for that play on first down. And that's a play that they, evidently, the defense was called. They were going to stop that particular play, the fullback coming up the middle.
Mann's in a quarterback now. Mike Mann from Sylacauga, Alabama, a senior. Plan was to play 3 quarterbacks in the first half. We'll see if Pat Dye does that. Second down, 9.
Mix up.
There he had. Hey, he's faking here, he's faking there, and then he's hit by Mark Lee, 22, and Ricky Williams, who just went in the lineup, number 57, to replace David Brazel.
He had a halfback on the wing, and he was expecting that halfback, after faking the ball to the fullback, to come back around, but the back went the other way, so the quarterback was standing right there with the ball in his hand saying, wait a minute, I don't want it. Arkansas defensive people, they solved that problem because they took him to the turf.
Now it's third down and 11. Auburn's been good at these third and long. Man will throw. It's blocked. And now they have a 4th and 11. And that's Raven Caldwell, who led the Arkansas defenders in sacks this year. He's a big play man, and he deflected that one.
Defensive linemen are taught, once you get penetration, the quarterback is about to throw the ball, try to time it, get up in the air, and see if maybe you'll get a shot, and there it is right there. Caldwell getting a right hand up in the air, batting that ball away. And for Auburn, it's fortunate it didn't stay up a little longer because the linebacker was right there in a position to intercept.
On formation with Colbert, Bobby Joe Edmonds is the safety. He'll try and pooch this one up around the goal line. Fair catch call. Arkansas has the ball again deep in their own. They've had no field position after that opening drive that culminated in a field goal. Since then, they've been pinned back deep in their own territory. 34-yard punt. We'll be back. 14-3, Auburn in the lead.
You know, I'll never forget catching that first fish when I was a boy. That one couldn't have weighed 2 pounds, but it was enough to make me a fisherman for life. Sometimes you just hit on something, and you know it's right for you. And that's the way I feel about my chewing tobacco, too. Levi Garrett's my brand, and I'll tell you why. Taste, pure and simple. It comes in loose leaf or plug, and either way, it's the best tasting chewing tobacco I've ever tried. That's Levi Garrett chewing tobacco.
Say goodbye to America's favorite can of motor oil. That Quaker State quality America has trusted for over 70 years now comes exclusively in this unique, easy-to-pour plastic bottle.
So long, Spouts. See you, dirty hands.
Goodbye, oily rags.
No more leaky cans.
Get Quaker State's pen-grade protection and no mess, easy to open, pour, and reseal. Today, you need an oil this good in a package this good.
We've had 2 turnovers in the game. Arkansas threw the ball away twice. That's been it. They try and scramble up the middle. Danny Nutt, the quarterback from Little Rock. Nothing there. And Auburn's really clamped down on this Arkansas offense.
They really have. What they've decided to do, they sent the defensive lineman straight after the quarterback. They say, forget about the pitch. We don't want him to have the option to run with it down here. So go after the quarterback, tear his head off if you possibly can. And that's what they did on that last play. They started their drives on their own 28, their 6, their 20, the 20, and the 12.
He throws the ball to the sideline. It's incomplete. Intended for James Shebest. And some of the Arkansas fans are claiming that Shebest was hooked there around the head by Alvin Briggs, the cornerback. But no, say the officials.
I think it's a good idea that he threw that ball over his head because Briggs looked like he was in position to make the play. See him, he's coming up. And if the ball hadn't been thrown high, he was in position right there. Now, he did put his right hand on the receiver, but I think that was after the ball passed him. But the point I'm trying to make is if the ball had been thrown lower, that young man Briggs would have been in position to make the interception. If he did, that's all she wrote. It'd have been another 6 points for Auburn.
Shebest and Looters are 2 wide receivers. It's 3rd down and 10. Arkansas's pass complete to the 30. Up to the 35 is Bobby Joe Edmonds as he slithered out of the backfield, but we have a flag down.
It could be, I don't know, but they didn't seem to be set for the full second before they snapped that football.
That's a legal motion against Arkansas. That'll wipe out the first down they had earned. It'll put them back on their 7-yard line with a 3rd down and 15.
Now you've had 2 quarterbacks in the game for both sides, really, and sometimes when a new quarterback comes in, the cadence is a little different.
Illegal motion, offense, repeat 3rd down.
Now for Arkansas, they cannot afford a turnover again down here in their territory.
Well, their deepest penetration has been their own 43-yard line in this quarter. Here they are with 3rd and long. The pass is intercepted again at the 14-yard line. Up with it is Arthur Johnson, the strong safety. He intercepted a wobbly, deflected ball.
Well, the quarterback was hit just as he was getting rid of the football. And here's a case that he probably should have put that ball under his arm and taken off. Now here it is. You see he is hit just as he releases the ball. There is nothing on it, just floats up in the air. Johnson is there to make the interception. And as I said, the one thing they could not afford to do